We are here at Dubai and Binance Blockchain Week, and with me is Rachel Conlan, CMO at Binance and one of the key figures at Binance of shaping a global community and global impact of Binance in the whole world. Thank you for joining me. And first question I have is that Binance now has over 280 million users. What do you think is like the key factor behind the global adoption and overall success of the platform?
Oof. Well, I'm going to correct you on that first one. We're actually about to hit 300 million users, which is extraordinary, and that's across over 180 markets. I think I'm monitoring our data daily. I think it's going to hit on Saturday, which I'm very excited by. I think that the key success, there's many reasons that have led to the success of Binance over the last 8 years. But I think if I was to single out one factor that has gotten us to where we are today, it's community. We have this incredible community of users, of angels, of partners that we work with that have supported us in the highs and lows and ensure that we are still focusing and prioritizing the right messages and ensuring that we continue to double down and spread the message about the positives of this industry. And I think you lead with that and you add on the product, the user experience, our commitment to user security and compliance, and they've all helped be the foundations of that. But what has helped us stand apart from our industry is the strength of the community that we have around the world.
So community is the key, actually.
Community is key, and I would liken it, I came from sports entertainment, as you know, before I entered into the digital assets and crypto space, and I would liken the community that we have to the football fans and to the Formula One fans I used to work with in other brands. They just prop us up and keep us fueled and drive us to ensure that we're continuing to always think about how we show up globally and locally.
And one question that I wondered was also, what do you think, what is your opinion about, what is one thing that keeps the most people outside of the crypto? Like, what's the biggest barrier, maybe?
Oh, I think it's the myths and misconceptions that exist in this space. And I see it in my own family still.
What do you think is the biggest myth, maybe?
I think the biggest myth is that crypto is a scam. I think that unfortunately many people, look, let's be honest, this is a new industry. There has been a lot of scams. But what I will say is that the industry has done more than any other traditional finance sector, ensuring that we fight against those scams and work with both private and public and with the government and with law enforcement to ensure that we're protecting our users and our community against those scams. But I think that's the biggest friction point. So a large part of what we're doing at Binance is, as you know, we need to continue to educate people on how to keep themselves safe. Because at the moment, yesterday a friend texted me about SMS spoofing or about being invited into WhatsApp groups, with special offers. If an offer is too good to be true, it's probably something you shouldn't participate in. So a lot of what we're trying to do is help people understand financial literacy and educating themselves on how to keep themselves safe.
I agree, that's the most important. That's what I also on my channel talk about the most, because without proper education, you can get scammed anywhere, not just in crypto. So
exactly. Well, everyone loves an offer. Like we love a deal. So we jump into something. My own husband nearly did it on a WhatsApp. He's like, look, I see this. I'm like, like, come on. But like that's the thing. They can take advantage and they can play into a narrative, the get rich quick or the FOMO narrative. But you really need to take stock and take that step back.
And when we are talking about regulations, most of the people who are using platform in European Union are wondering about Mica license. Can you tell us something more about it?
Yes. So we have had a team that's working diligently on ensuring that we secure Mica. I think just a caveat, being a platform the size that we are, with over 300 million users, we're bigger than the biggest retail bank in the world, Santander, which means that obviously there is different evaluations, there's a different level of scrutiny in terms of what we're doing. So we're working closely with the regulators to ensure a positive outcome there. And I certainly check in on it daily. Being European, I want to make sure that we're able to continue to serve and support our European community.
And what are some concrete steps that Binance is taking in order to increase transparency? And since safety is like the most important thing to the users, And I would say that one of the biggest reasons other than community is for sure that Binance was safe the whole time. Yeah. There have been every kind of black swan events happening in crypto and everything, and Binance is still here with growing and growing every year. So what about that?
I think there's a few ways in which we're doing that and ensuring that not only that are we keeping our users secure, we ensure transparency in our operations. I think the first way is our commitment to compliance. I have a very big team with 320 people, across marketing and comms now. We have over 1,000 people that work in compliance, and these are some of the best brains in the world, and they are from FBI, they're from Interpol, they are from the leading organizations that ensure that we are able to anticipate and protect against things that maybe you or I don't even know about yet.
For sure.
And they're extraordinary, and they're working on a day-to-day basis. I think that, so humans ensuring that we've got that insight, and we hired hackers, we've worked with some of those brilliant brains that are ensuring that there is no weaknesses on our platform. I think the second part that is a companion to first is technology, and ensuring that we have 24/7 customer service, 24/7 risk mitigation. We really are encouraging everyone to 2FA on their platform to keep themselves safe. But also, if we spot unusual behavior, we will always connect and reach out and support our users to help them understand when something. And look, sometimes people do make a large transfer or do something out of the norm, but we will always check with them. When in those instances. I think the third part that we're really focused on is how we showcase the business being transparent. So as you know, proof of reserves, we're about to issue our proof of reserves for December.
It's open for everyone.
Open for everyone, and that is the beauty of the blockchain space, is that you are able to track that. And as we know, many of our community do, and they ensure that they are diving deep into those reserves. So, and understanding that they are set up in the right way. And I think fourth of all is education. I think a big part of what we're doing at the moment is ensuring that we continue to educate people so that they are really understanding, whether they're very new to this space or someone that's more sophisticated, that they're really understanding how to keep themselves safe. And we use wonderful partners like you to help spread that message more, because not everyone wants to hear from a business or a brand. We need to make sure that the message is coming from people that they relate with, that they feel comfortable with, that they want to welcome into their homes. So that's something that's really important to us from a digital and from in-person at an event like Binance Blockchain Week.
And also stable coins are increasing in adoption every month, I would say. People like to spend crypto, like either with USDC or some regulated stable coins. Binance has a feature called Binance Pay, but a lot of people are also asking about Binance Card.
Yes, well, Binance Pay is brilliant because it's been the year of stablecoins, as we know, but I think Binance Pay, we now have 2 million merchants around the world. And where we don't have Binance Pay available, we're working really diligently with the regulators to make sure we're introducing it in the right way. But you're right, I feel like every event I go to, every person online asks me when card. We've just reintroduced MasterCard back into LATAM, which has been really exciting over the last few months. We have MasterCard that are here as a partner today, one of our main flagship partners, so please check them outside. But we are planning some very exciting rollouts across MENA, across Asia, and I promise soon Europe. So once Mica, then card. So it will happen very, very quickly. So Mica, that will be something. Mica is important.
First, Mica first, and then we can talk about card.
Exactly.
And the last question I have for you we are now at the end of 2025. Binance had very successful year. Users are increasing. So what would be the goals for Binance in 2026?
Oh, the goal, obviously, and you and I have spoken about this before, is that billion users. I don't think we'll hit it in 2026, but for us, it's really about double downing on products, user experience, and innovation this year. I think we have invested a lot in regulation. We always can continue, but we need to make sure that our platform continues to be the best user experience with the right products, and also with the future products that you and I don't even know that we need yet. And really, that's important in order to introduce us into the fabric of everyday society.
Thank you, Rachel, for your time. It's been a
Always good to
pleasure,
see you.
as always, and thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.